Just a summary of this afternoon's stream on the supply chain challenges. First of all, for those who were not here, I would just like to show the slide. I'm not going to talk to it, but it's to demonstrate just as a frame on one of the problems. That's the health supply chain mapped out for the Ministry of Health in Kenya. It gives you just an idea of the challenge we face in terms of the information overlaps. We went on further, and we had Mafood from UNICEF WFP present a little bit on what our problem statement was in terms of trying to do things right and also ensuring that we're doing the right things. So in terms of trying to use this technology in improving our efficiencies within supply chain management, and at the same time on the bottom line to make sure we're having the impact on the populations we're trying to serve, and that we're actually effective in it. We had Simon from MIT give a brief overview of some of the research he's done with various different projects looking at the track and trace stream, emergency response stream, and end user monitoring and evaluation stream. We then had Jonathan Jackson from Dimaji show just one example of technology, a hybrid phone that can act as a phone, but also as a data server with lots of different programmable fields that can be customized. It was also interesting. From some of the discussions we had later, it's apparent that actually technology isn't the problem. The solutions are out there and will probably proliferate over time. In the supply chain discussion, by the nature of the problem that we're trying to solve, and in fact where we're trying to extend the supply chain into, we're going into environments where you cannot assume connectivity. You cannot assume that you're going to have the networks in place to be able to handle this data. So inside some of the discussions, there was ideas of using paper-based systems and how they meet with data collection systems, or specialized phones that monitors or drivers go around with when recording data. When they come back into an area of connectivity, it can be uploaded. So there are all kinds of discussions around that. But bearing in mind, if you're going to have all of these kind of solutions, when you look at a map like that, there are going to be pressure points in the way systems and organizations are organized that just having more and more data might not necessarily solve. So it'll be an issue of also finding where those pressure points are and maybe doing systems redesigns. In the emergency part of the discussion, it was also interesting, and based on assumptions that we might not have connectivity, and we started on that assumption that either it was non-existent or has gone down because of a disaster, that we might be putting the cart before the horse. And instead of actually looking to acquire data, we need to set up the infrastructure somehow and coordinate that setup between different players to then allow communities to have access to network systems and connectivity, enable them to begin to express the needs that they're going to have in order to tailor a response. So in that sense, ITC is sort of developing not as a support to our operations, but as an operation to benefit the lives of the communities we serve in itself, which sort of is an interesting direction to take it to. So there's obviously an evident from the map that there's a big need for the actual coordination of communication and not just communication for the sake of it. And I think around the supply chain, with some of the very specific problems and issues that we need to address, that there's some good scope to take this forward, and I hope that sort of the pilots can be designed relatively soon so we can do so. And again, as the other from the monitoring and evaluation stream said, we'll post some of the more deeper stuff up on the web so you can look at and ask for contributors to start taking this a little bit further. As far as a schism between the two buildings, I can't resist it. I didn't even know who were geeks and who were knowledge managers. It's all kind of the same to me. So thanks a lot.
So I just wanted to let you guys know that all the videos from sort of that are being recorded here, so any presentation that was given, will be put up on YouTube. We're in the process of putting it up now. Just look for Web4Dev on YouTube as a tag, or Web4Dev 09, and you'll see like already the opening session videos are up. So. And I think we're done. Yeah? Oh, yes. The French Development Agency has decided that they want to host a wine and cheese event across the road at the Millennium Hotel. So if you, I don't know, I'm sure, just walk in. I'm sure you can find it. Yes. We should go over there.